How's it going, everybody? Doing the Gum Chewing Sports Ramble here today. I'm filming it on Sunday. It'll be up Monday. Tomorrow, probably around 1 o'clock, a little earlier. Real quickly, I want to say thank you to Blake Butler for the super thanks. It's much appreciated. It means a lot. So thank you. And they also commented about doing like a gum tiers, favorite gums list. I can do a little ranking maybe next week or later this coming week of my favorite gums. I don't chew a lot of different gum. And mostly it's just Trident now, and occasionally like I had the Wrigley's or whatever that one was. But maybe I can go back to like some of the stuff I liked as a kid, like the bubble tape and the Big League Chew and stuff like that. I'll try to figure that one out, but I actually filmed this video earlier, but there was noise coming from outside that wouldn't let up. I had like a booger in my fucking nose. It was hanging out. I'm like, I can't. I really need to take a fucking like week-long break. I feel sometimes. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the All-Star game, baseball All-Star game is maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. The home run derby might be tomorrow. I don't know. I think Pete Alonso's going for a 3-peat there. The Mets did lose today, so did the Braves. The Braves have been on a run. I feel like they've won like 30 of 40 or some shit. They've been on a hell of a run. I think the Mets will get DeGrom back. Maybe like first or second week of August. I mean, they lost him almost the whole year. But yeah, Yankees are in first place. I think they still have the best wrist breaker in baseball. Their whole division is this one eyelash. Their whole division is over 500. The Orioles were on a hell of a run and they got like a game over. But the Yankees have a big lead on, I think Tampa's in second. The Mariners are on like a 13-game winning streak. Some pretty competitive races there. I think the Dodgers have like 60 wins as well. I like to try to get to a few Met games this year, but I don't know if I will or not. I went to a lot of Yankee games when I was younger. I used to be a Yankee fan, and then I stopped giving a shit, honestly, about the Yankees. I don't know. I lean more toward Mets more because my friends like I work are Met fans, so I'm like cheering for them and stuff. I don't know. I never hated the Mets at all. I wasn't one of those like Yankee fans that would like rag on the Mets. I didn't care. They were in different fucking leagues. They're in different leagues, except when it was 2000 Subway Series. But when I was really into the Yankees, I wasn't one of those Yankee fans who was like 27 world titles. At the time, I think it would have been 26 still when they won that run in the late 90s, and I think 27, right, was the one in 09 against the Phillies. I was never one of those fans because A, it's fucking obnoxious. I didn't do a goddamn thing to help that team win, and B, I wasn't alive for fucking most of them. When I'm like taking fucking credit and like jumping on a fucking dick of fucking 20 plus titles that I wasn't alive for. I never understood that shit. You know why? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like a Lions fan could talk shit to a Rams fan. It doesn't matter. You win the Super Bowl, you win whatever, the World Series, NBA title, NHL title, whatever the hell it may be, soccer, anything. The next day, the other fan base is talking shit like it matters for about 5 seconds. Like, for me, it was always as a fan, the lows are much lower than the highs are high. It's just, I feel feel like you're more pissed and annoyed when your team loses a big game than you are excited when they win. I think the losses stick longer than the wins, honestly. That's just me, I guess, but I feel like that's the case. And it's like you're talking shit the next day. Your team could have no titles. You're still talking shit. It doesn't matter. It fucking matters. You know, it's fun and exciting when your team wins and shit, and it's cool following players and stuff like that. But I took it way too seriously when I was younger, to the point where I was like fucking nuts as a fan when I was like really young. You know, like in my teenage years and shit. And over time, I've kind of like mellowed to not giving a fuck. Like even when Denver won that one against the Panthers, I was kind of like, yeah, cool, but I was just like, okay, you know. The first one they won against the Packers was fucking amazing. That was a great high. That was probably like my highest high for sports. I obviously was extremely young when the Islanders were winning their fucking four-peat dynasty, and I was like 1, 2, 3, 4 years old for those, I think. So I was not a hockey fan at that point. And I've seen the Yankees win titles, and those were always cool. I mean, I remember watching those playoff games when the Yankees were always coming through in the clutch and the fucking ninth, beating teams and stuff. And then a lot of that was taken away when they lost Game 7 to the Diamondbacks when they were going for their four-peat right at that point. That really took a lot away because then I think they got knocked out in the first round the next year. They lost the World Series to the Marlins the following year. Then was it 04, right, where they fucking blew a 3-1 lead? No, wait, it was a 3-0 lead, right, that they blew to the fucking Red Sox in the playoffs. That was insane. I remember that. I was just like, holy shit. Like, I was dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it. I mean, and the crazy thing is, for the Red Sox organization at that point, that's what they fucking had to get through to get that fucking first World Series in, almost 100 years at that point, right? 1918 or whatever it was. You know, it's fucking crazy. Like, they had to come back from that, and then they fucking housed where they played the Cardinals, and then they've won what? They won in 07. They win like another 3 after that, or at least 2. Sports are weird, you know. I understand people getting passionate, but I just think, you know, as a fan, it's like you get to rag on the players and everybody else, GMs, owners, when they lose, and they win, you just bask in the glory with them. But if they lose, it's never going to be your own fault, you know. It's a perfect thing to be a fan, you know. But yeah, that's kind of rambling on there for a second, but that's baseball. Hockey. Goudreau signed with Columbus. A lot of people were shocked by that. I knew damn well he wasn't signed with the fucking Islanders. They don't get big free agents. Usually they're going to choose the Rangers if they're deciding. Because the Rangers, you know, I mean, New York City isn't what it used to fucking be, let's be honest, but it's still the big city. And they're an original 6 franchise, so I think people, you know, players could be drawn to that. You know, playing in the Garden and shit like that. Doesn't seem to help as much with the fucking Knicks these days, but they'll still they'll still bring in big free agents from time to time. The Islanders can never, and it's funny too because people get traded to the Islanders. They love the community, they love the team, and everything. But for some reason, players like Kovalchuk, Panarin, Goudreau, like these guys don't. The Islanders could throw $20 million a year at these people, and they're just like, nah, I'd rather be here. Columbus was such an interesting choice. I mean, he'll make them better, obviously, but I think he wanted to sign with the Flyers, right? But their GM did fuck all, and fucking Claude signed, I think, somewhere. I don't know where. I think Malkin re-signed with the Penguins, right? I haven't been keeping up too much with it. I know the Islanders made that deal. They traded their 13th pick to the Canadiens for a defenseman who's solid, apparently. A lot of the fans are upset that he left. He's supposed to be a solid defenseman, which is great. And I don't mind that trade because that 13 pick would have sat in the fucking minors for fucking 3 or 4 years doing nothing. So the Islanders got the D. They got the goaltending. They need the offense. And the coach they have now was under Trotz, but I'm hoping he allows guys listen, let's fucking try to open it up here because maybe they get lucky and they get like a Kadri or somebody ain't fucking signing with them either. So they're not gonna get anybody. They need somebody like fucking Palmieri to fucking get fucking 25, 30 goals. Like somebody needs to step the fuck up and get those fucking goals, man. The Avalanches would have been happening before the draft. I think they traded for the Rangers' backup goalie, who's pretty good too. So that only helps the fucking Stanley Cup champs. If that guy pans out, holy shit. Because I think Cooper, did he leave or did he trade him out? Other shit's been going on. Like I said, I think Brent Burns got traded from what was he on San Jose to the Hurricanes. Did the Rangers sign Trocheck? Is that his name? So guys have been moving. The Rangers lost a guy or two, but I don't think anybody like crazy key to their team. I mean, they'll be good again. I mean, they went from fucking Lundqvist to now, what is it? I can't say his name. Scherstering. I mean, the other goalie, that's good. You know, so that, I mean, that's fucking awesome for them. The Islanders got great goaltending too with Sorkin. It's not the D. It's the fucking offense that you're concerned with the fucking Islanders. Maybe they'll get somebody, maybe a 20-goal scorer, just something. I don't know. Maybe they'll do a trade. Who the fuck knows? NBA. Portland. I think Portland signed Lillard to like a 2-year extension. Like $60 million a year. Some fucking insane shit. They signed Gary Payton's kid. Right, it is his kid, right? I think it's Gary Payton Jr. or Gary Payton II or something from Golden State. He's supposed to be solid. They traded for that guy. Was it Jeremy Grant? Who's supposed to be solid as well. I think they re-signed Nurkic. They should be solid. They re-signed Anthony Simmons as well. He got a big deal, so he's locked in for a while. He had a breakout season last year. So I'm hoping Portland could do something, put something together. I would like, if any of the teams, I'd like to get really dedicated to Portland again. It was always Denver and Portland when I was younger. I liked the Islanders and the Yankees, but they were behind, and the Islanders after the 92-93, I've said this before, they made that conference final, and the next year the fucking Rangers slaughtered them in the first round on their way to the Cup. But after that, Islanders sucked. Like, they sucked for like, they missed playoffs for like 7 years or whatever the fuck it was. Until they got Yashin and Michael Pekka and shit. Chris Osgood, you know. So they were kind of, and the Yankees were starting to get better during that period, like the early 90s, and then obviously into their run. But Portland and fucking Denver were the ones that I went fucking apeshit for. Paid off with Denver. I always talk, I've probably said this before in another sport ramble, but fucking, when I first got into basketball, I was watching games on like whatever they played. Maybe they might have been on TNT back then too. And I was like choosing between Portland and San Antonio, and I was like, who do I want to like here? You know, I'm trying, and then I ended up going with Portland. If I went with San Antonio, there'd be like 5 titles, you know. But it was Clyde Drexler and shit that really, you know, guys like him and Cliff Robinson, and then like later on with guys like Rod Strickland, Sabonis, and then like Rasheed Wallace, Isaiah Ryder when they got them. Pippen was on there briefly as well. Can't wait for football to start up. I want to see what Denver can do with Russell Wilson. They got a hell of a competitive division with 6 quarterbacks on every team. So that should be fun. Zach Wilson, the Jets quarterback, slept with his mom's best friend, so Jets got that going for him. My friend was reading a comment, and it was like, that's the first time the Jets scored over 40 in years. That was funny. But New York teams aren't looking too impressive outside of obviously Buffalo. The Jets and the Giants are not. The only real New York team that actually plays in the state is good. But I'd like to see what Russell Wilson can do with these guys like Judy and Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick. Hamler, KJ Hamler as well. Like, they have some good offense, and they got the running backs with I think they re-signed Melvin Gordon for another year, and Javonte Williams, who was a beast in his rookie year. So let's see what they can do. Try to enjoy it. I'd like to just even get back to the playoffs. It's been like 6 years, so it'd be nice to see them get back in. It's gonna be tough in that division. I could see if they're all firing. I could see 3 of those teams making the playoffs. But yeah, not a lot going on. Excuse me, in the sport world at the moment. It's kind of the dog days of summer, right? It's just baseball. And the drafts are now over from the NBA and the NHL, and there's still some things will happen in those sports in terms of like guys moving or whatever, signing with other teams. But once September comes around and football comes back in, and then basketball and hockey, and then baseball's going into the World Series, you got a lot of crazy shit going on. That's when it gets like really crazy. But I never mind, doing sport rambles. I know I kind of repeat some of the same stuff I've said before, but that's the thing. That's why I kind of was like, I'll fucking not like the Met, not be like a serious Met fan, but be interested and invested in what they're doing, because I'm trying to like get back into that sport as well. I don't have any vested interest, win or lose. It'd be cool to see them win, but I'm not gonna, it'd be more for my friends and stuff like that. I don't, I kind of just want to try to get back into some of these things. Like I said, Portland specifically, I would like to really see, because I was so into basketball up until about like maybe like 7, 8. And Lillard's first years, I was still into it, and then they made like a conference final, and I was following it, but I wasn't like deeply invested. We'll see how they do that next year. And by the time I do my export ramble, it'll probably be around I'll probably wait till around the start of the football season to get more stuff to kind of talk about. Like I said, I'm not completely up to date with a lot of the signings. I know Durant is a free agent, or does he need to be traded? I don't know. I know LeBron wants to trade Westbrook. He wants Kyrie. I love LeBron always wants someone, and then he like blames everything else. Like, dude, you wanted Westbrook last year. You make these fucking decisions pretty much. And now that fucking Golden State is back to fucking ripping it up. It's like, don't expect to get a fucking title unless you pull another fucking 3 All-Stars to your team. Because once Golden State is fucking on point, holy shit, and they might end up getting Durant back again. You should put a fork in the rest of the league at that point. Even if they have to trade some players outside of, if it's not, I think they were saying like Wiggins and some of these other guys, but if they still have Curry, Green, and Klay Thompson and Durant, it's gonna be, and LeBron's still a fucking stud. Like, I guess you could maybe argue he's not the best player in the league anymore, but even if you were arguing that, the dude's still a top fucking 3, here's the thing with LeBron, actually, any given year, he could be the best player in the league. Maybe sometimes you have a Curry ripping it up on another level, or Durant as well. But he's playing with Anthony Davis, who's hurt all the time. Like, they don't have, like, Russell Westbrook, unfortunately, just has this weird, like, stigma to him now. Wherever he goes, it's like things don't go right, which is a shame, because the guy's a hell of a fucking talent, obviously. We'll see what happens. But anyway, yeah, that's just a sports ramble here, and thanks for checking us out, and have a good day.